So before we get into this video, what exactly is the Absolute Universe by DC Comics? Well, possible spoilers for the main continuity, but Darkseid created the Absolute Universe where each hero is missing a key part of what makes them a hero. Superman is missing the Kents and the upbringing that they gave him, Martian Manhunter is missing his physical form, Wonder Woman is missing the mascara and he's actually raised by Cersei, and Wally West is missing Barry Allen as his mentor. Hello and welcome to the 616. I'm going to be covering, hopefully, as many Absolute runs as I possibly can because this entire offshoot universe that DC have created has caught my attention. I'm just generally hoping to do more comic book reviews, just period, but we're going to be starting with the Absolute stuff. We're going to be focusing on Absolute Batman first, as obviously the title and the thumbnail gives away, but I do plan on also reading the other runs. Seems really good as an option for people that don't want to commit to the current DC runs being released in the main continuity, like myself. But with all that being said, there are going to be spoilers for this specific run in this video, mostly covering issues 1 through 6, or the arc known as the Zoo. I don't cover absolutely everything, but you'll get the main story points from this breakdown and recap, and at the end I'll give my opinion on the run so far. Also, as a little bit of extra knowledge, I am a Batman fan in general, I love the Batman films, I have like a basic understanding of Batman, and I've read a lot of Batman in the past, like the New 52 stuff, or some of No Man's Land, and some more of the 90s based storylines. I've read my fair share of Batman, so I had a lot of exposure coming into this. This was really great as an alternative to what you already know, while also keeping things still the same to some extent. Things feel familiar, but with a nice twist. So issue 1, Absolute Batman kicks off with Alfred, returning to Gotham. Alfred's very different in this version, he's a lot more militant. Bruce Wayne is working out in a gym, and Black Mask is the head of crime with his gang the Party Animals. He has Falcone and Maroni murdered, and there's press coverage about the Party Animals, and the mayor, Jim Gordon, calling a town hall meeting to discuss how to deal with them. The focus currently isn't on Batman, because we're going to get quite a big reveal of him later on in the issue. The Party Animals crash the town hall meeting and gun down Gordon, though not dead, leading to Batman confronting them while a militarized Alfred watches from a rooftop with a sniper. Batman brutally dispatches them, he's violent and even chops off a hand, but doesn't kill. Alfred attempts to take him down but isn't able to, and after that he does some digging on Batman, finding out that he's Bruce Wayne. He discovers his backstory and how his father was gunned down at the zoo. He didn't grow up rich or well known, he was just a regular kid. Alfred finds out that Bruce has worked in all sectors of the city, learnt as much as he can, and now works as a builder, fixing the mess he makes as Batman. Though Alfred also discovers that Bruce has a weakness, because his mother is still alive. Alfred tracks Bruce down to a hideout, some abandoned floors at the top of skyscrapers, but Bruce is waiting for him. He takes down Alfred with his own weapon, modified to be non-lethal, steals his bike, and escapes into the night. This entire issue, Alfred is the narrator, and towards the end he's talking to his handler about his old target that they lost. Someone who trained with Henry Ducard, someone who trained with the League and killed them. It's then revealed that Alfred's old target is the Joker. Issue 2, Bruce is constantly haunted by his father's death, trapped in the bat enclosure with his dad's body blocking the door. Alfred details how he's now keeping surveillance on Bruce and knows he has multiple stash houses around Gotham called caves, and that Bruce still visits his father's killer in prison, Joe Chill. The Party Animals find the cave in the high-rise and storm it. He planned ahead though, booby-trapping the towers and injuring the gang. We then get Martha visiting Gordon in hospital, where it's revealed that she's actually the deputy mayor, and she talks about how she doesn't really know what her son gets up to anymore. He hasn't been the same since the death of Thomas. Bruce then shows up for a game of poker with his childhood friends, who turn out to be his rogues. Riddler, Penguin, Killer Croc and Two-Face are all there with an empty chair remaining. Batman goes to the mayor's office and discovers files on Arc M. Though before he can find out more about it, he's ambushed by Black Mask. The Party Animals blow the building, but Batman is able to escape. During the escape, he stumbles into Alfred, and the two escape together in an agreed temporary alliance with the reveal of the Batmobile. The Batmobile is a hulking massive vehicle, like a modified dump truck, and then at the end of the issue, we get the brief introduction to Selina Kyle. Issue 3 opens with Selina and Bruce exploring the city as kids, while the Batmobile, the hulking mass of a dump truck, plows through Gotham. Alfred tries to make a deal with Batman to take down Black Mask together. The two part though, with it unclear if Batman will go along with Alfred's plans, which essentially is Batman gives up so Black Mask eases off of Gotham and Alfred's men can take Sionis down. We get some more brief flashbacks between Bruce and Selina before seeing Bruce visit Nigma, who is making his own AI robot and gives him info on Black Mask's setup. We see Black Mask offer a deal to Batman, and Batman, surprisingly, by the end of the issue, accepts. Black Mask will give Batman a shit ton of cash to stand down, and for a week, Black Mask will go easier on the city. This is all because of the amount of chaos that the party animals are causing. Issue 4 delves back to the earlier versions of this Batman. This is basically this Absolute Batman's version of Year 1. Bruce Wayne develops the character of Batman. He tries cosplaying him as more of a literal vampire Batman, but realizes it doesn't work. Too many theatrics and not enough of a scare factor. We see Bruce giving a statement in court for Joe Chill after the death of Thomas, and an understanding of why that day was so special to him, and how it became the worst day of his life thanks to Chill. We then get an amazingly well-written breakdown of why Bruce Wayne chose Batman, how he developed this specific version of the Bat, but it all applies to all other versions of Batman. This issue in particular is really great for anyone who wants to know why exactly Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, the logic behind it, and why, in his brain, it makes sense to him. Next up, issue 5, and this issue shows us the working relationship a lot more between Martha and Gordon, as well as some flashbacks to Gordon attending Thomas's funeral. With the party animals holding back, Roman, Sionis, and Batman meet on a rooftop, though Batman reveals that he wasted all of that money that Roman gave him making a giant bat signal, which he's done in the hopes of rallying the city behind him against Black Mask. Black Mask and his men attack Batman, however, tricking him into getting caught, where he then dislocates Batman's arm. Batman manages to escape, though wounded, and makes it to one of his underground caves, whilst Roman makes his offer to the city. Care packages of weapons, masks, and money for them to join the party animals and fight the system, framing all of this as him being the one that is anti-establishment, and wanting to fight against the wealthy despite being one of them. A wounded Batman enlists the help of his friend Oswald, where we then also find out that the rest of his friends, or rogues, now know his identity. Oswald flies him over Black Mask's ship, and he leaps out with the plan to blow it up and crash the city's servers for Sionis' operation. He makes light work of Roman's groupies, including punk kicking a child off of the boat. Batman then just casually beats the absolute piss out of Black Mask using a bowling ball, and then while Black Mask is trying to choke out Batman with a piece of garrote wire, the ears on Batman's mask rotate down like a ram's horns, and he impales Sionis' face with them. He doesn't kill him, but I'm assuming Sionis no longer has his eyes. Batman then throws him into the water, blows the ship, and swims to one of his caves where he's pulled out by Alfred and patched up. We end with an epilogue showing the Joker again, this time with a suit of babies, because why not? And he's ordering Bane to go to Gotham. So there we go, there's a recap of issues 1 through 6 of Absolute Batman. This was a doozy to read and really, really enjoyable. Like I said at the start, I think the fact that a lot of this is very familiar, but there's twists and kind of changes that are being made, small changes that just mix things up quite a bit. There's still a lot of the aesthetic of Batman and the vibes of Batman, but with the added brutality and this over-the-top vibe of Gotham. It reminds me a lot of when I was a kid and watching the Burton films, about how they were very stylized and, you know, you had all that gothic architecture and it just felt very, very Burton-y. And this has a similar effect of, not necessarily that it feels very Burton-y, but it just feels like its own universe and its own thing. And it's really, really cool to get into and see these alternate versions of the characters, seeing what Batman might be like if Martha was still alive, if he didn't have money. What might his situation with his rogues be? Slowly getting to see his once childhood friends develop into possible villains is really, really interesting and fun to see play out. It's nice getting a full 6-issue arc where Black Mask is the villain, a character that's usually overlooked quite a bit. And then of course the teases to everyone's favourite overused character, the Joker, where we're clearly getting an insanely dark interpretation of him. Overall, this run has been absolutely brilliant, and I cannot wait to read the rest of it, and it's made me really interested in the other Absolute versions of these characters, so I'm hoping to also cover those. Have you read Absolute Batman? If you have, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Be aware, if you haven't read it yet, there's probably going to be spoilers and stuff. But yeah, let me know what your opinions are. Do you enjoy it? What is it like compared to the main continuity? Because I haven't read the main continuity of Batman since the New 52 stuff. And if you're interested in any other content that we're putting out on the channel, whether it be podcasts or reaction videos, feel free to go check those out. Please do leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.